All in Therapy, Chapter 3, Childhood Roles. Every family creates an emotional ecosystem, and within that ecosystem, children take on roles long before they understand what a role even is. These roles are not spoken, they are absorbed, not chosen, assigned through circumstance, not temporary. They become the first identities we mistake for our true selves. Children do not ask, "Who am I?" They ask, "Who do I need to be to stay connected?" The roles that shape us. Families unconsciously sculpt children into emotional positions. The responsible one, the peacemaker, the achiever, the funny one, the rebel, the caregiver, the invisible child, the emotional support child, the golden one, the problem one. These identities take root quietly, forming around the emotional gaps, stresses, and dynamics of the household. A child in a chaotic home becomes responsible. A child in a tense home becomes the comedian. A child in a lonely home becomes the companion. A child in a demanding home becomes the achiever. A child in a loud home becomes invisible. A child in a broken home becomes the healer. Roles are survival strategies, elegant, intuitive, brilliant, but also confining. Why we accept these roles. Children are biologically wired to protect their bond with caregivers. If connection requires quietness, they quiet themselves. If connection requires excellence, they perform. If connection requires caretaking, they nurture. If connection requires rebellion to get noticed, they disrupt. The child's nervous system says, "Whatever keeps me attached, I will become." When the role becomes the identity. By adolescence, the role has hardened into personality. By adulthood, the role feels like a fixed truth. The achiever believes they were born ambitious. The responsible one believes their needs are burdens. The invisible child believes their presence is optional. The funny one believes their sadness is unacceptable. The caregiver believes their worth is tied to usefulness. The rebel believes harmony requires self-abandonment. But these are not identities, they are adaptations. And every adaptation once made sense. The cost of the role. Every role requires a sacrifice. The responsible one sacrifices childhood. The invisible one sacrifices visibility. The achiever sacrifices rest. The caregiver sacrifices self-worth. The rebel sacrifices acceptance. The golden child sacrifices authenticity. The problem child sacrifices belief in their goodness. These sacrifices echo into adulthood, into friendships, romantic relationships, workplaces, and even the way we speak to ourselves. The quiet moment we realize the role doesn't fit. Healing begins the moment we ask, "What if this is not who I truly am?" Here are two stories that highlight this chapter. The first story, the oldest at 8. When Naomi was 8, she became the second parent in the house. Her mom worked nights. Her father was often somewhere between tired and unreachable. Naomi learned to pack lunches, braid her little brother's hair, sign school forms, and soothe fears that were never hers to hold. Teachers praised her maturity. Relatives called her so responsible. Everyone admired her, no one helped her. By 25, Naomi was the person everyone leaned on. Friends called her during breakups. Co-workers vented for hours. Partners relied on her emotional labor without offering their own. One evening, after listening to a friend unload for 45 minutes, Naomi whispered to herself, "I'm tired of being the adult in every room." She wasn't born responsible, she was trained. And that realization, quiet, small, private, was the first boundary she ever drew. Now, the second story, the shadow at the dinner table. Elias grew up as the middle child in a family that didn't have space for him. His older sister excelled in everything. Trophies on every shelf. His younger brother demanded chaos, tantrums, slammed doors, constant eruptions. Elias learned very early that invisibility was the safest option. If he stayed small enough, quiet enough, good enough, no one would yell. No one would cry. No one would fall apart. At 16, a teacher asked him a question no one had ever asked. "Elias, what do you think?" He froze. No one had ever waited for his answer. In adulthood, Elias struggled to voice opinions. He apologized before speaking. He faded in conversations even when he had something meaningful to say. Until one day, during a team meeting at work, he spoke up, unplanned, unguided, unpracticed. People listened, not because he shouted, but because he finally allowed himself to exist. In that moment, Elias realized invisibility was never his nature, it was his training. Please subscribe to the Healing Human Project channel as we move on to more understanding in Chapter 3 of All in Therapy.